All right, we can grab 2 more shells. Hey, what's up? It's Aaron with ABTX Outdoors here at Frankston, Texas at 5/8 Shooting Sports at the 1,000-yard range, which is directly behind me. Today, though, I'm not shooting 1,000 yards. Today, I'm changing it up and decided to bring out an AR platform. This AR platform is definitely a big bore platform. I wanted something to plink steel targets at close range, also used to take out some hogs, and also deer hunt here in the piney forest of East Texas. So what did I decide to buy? I ended up going with a 450 Bushmaster. This is a Ruger 450 Bushmaster. I brought some Hornady subsonic ammo. I do have it suppressed today with my Banish suppressor, and this is quite the cartridge. I've only shot this in just to sight it in, so today it's its first real reveal day. It's almost shooting basically shooting a 45-70 short. It is a heck of a round and puts a huge bullet on target. So this is going to be a good one today. Ammo, we're looking at 395 grain subsonic X ammo. So my goal today, just to shoot out to some of the closer still targets out here at the range. I just have a little Crossfire Vortex scope on there, nothing fancy. Again, when I purchased this, I decided to go with a less inexpensive scope because in my mind, I'm really not going to be making any shots over 100 yards with it. In fact, I think the most realistic targets that I'll be shooting, especially if I'm using this for hunting applications, will be right there within 50 yards of my stand or wherever I'm at. Out here in East Texas, if you're out in the pine woods or a thicket in the forest, having a clear line of sight more than 50 yards is rare. So this is the whole reason why I decided to go with this 450 Bushmaster. I do have a 45-70. I've killed pigs with it, so this is going to be an interesting one today that I'll film. What we'll be shooting at, I'm not going to do a zero on this gun because I've already done that. I will take a look to see if there is some clean targets down there, and I might fire a few off, but we're going to go straight out to the 300 or 200 yard targets and ring some steel. So let me get this set up and let's see how it goes. All right, I will not be able to use the trigger cam on this one due to the fact that on this Crossfire scope, it has your illumination turret up here, so there's no way for me to get the trigger cam to look through the scope as I'm shooting this one. But I do have my camera set up downrange. I'm going to shoot at a 200 yard target. It's a little deceptive because it's showing a 300 yard sign right behind it. It's not 300 yards, it's 200 yards. So we'll start with that and see how it goes. I do have my little Atlas bipod on the gun. Probably will have to raise that up so I can get a, let me go ahead and do that now. Let's go ahead and raise it up. There we go. I know I'm going to need some elevation help. Sorry for the coughing. Just getting over being sick for the last couple of days. I was really worried because the last ELR shoot that I had just barely recovered from that. All right, Hornady subsonic ammo. I got the Garmin on. I'm curious to see what the true speeds are. Okay, I'm gonna have to definitely come down. Curious to see what kind of hold I'm gonna have to put on this. I wish I could show you through the trigger cam because that would be pretty neat. Let me go ahead and turn this camera on. All right, I got that recording. Let me grab a few extra of these. I have it sighted in at 50 yards. This is definitely going to be a poke. And this thing has actually surprising some recoil. I mean, it's a big bullet. All right, I'm on the 200 gong. Let's put one in there. Lights, camera, action. All right, I'm gonna hold above it and let one rip. No clue. Let's aim right at it. All right, definitely low, low, low. There it is. What a thunk that makes. Had to find the holdover, but once I found it, it was hitting. So that's at 200 yards. Using quite a bit of holdover in that. Man, what a fun gun. Just a single stack magazine. Go ahead and load this up. Now, since I know where the hold is at, let's do it some more. All right. Just restarted my camera down at the target. Oh, these are so cool. All right, I'll save those 5 for a little bit later. All right. And what do you think about the suppressor and the noise that it's making? Or lack of noise that it's making? That's pretty neat. All right, let me get on here. Find my hold again. And I'm shooting on 4 power. This is just a 2 to 4 power scope. It's, again, all I think I need out here in the pine woods, especially if you're trying to shoot pigs on the run. This is very easily to follow and track. I think I have no problems with another gun that I have in a 308. Same similar setup, a little bit more powerful scope, but I'm able to hit pigs on the run with it. Same concept here. So, all right, get back on this target. Oh man, that is so neat. The recoil with this suppressor on there is actually pretty light with this subsonic round. I know I tried shooting 450 grain bullets that were not subsonic, and I tell you, it moved me around quite a bit. So I decided to stick and sight with these subsonic rounds, And as you can see, you got to kind of have to know your hold, but it's hitting. So I'm curious if we can take it out to 300 yards with this last 5 shots and see what happens. Hold tight. One thing I just noticed, my Garmin was not picking up the rounds because I set it to look at the wrong velocity. So let me turn it on. I turn it off and back on. Because when you turn this on, you hit session, you hit rifle, and then it tells you 1,700 feet to 5,000 feet per second or 600 to 1,700. Let me click on that. Now I should be able to get some bullet speeds with these subsonics. So let me put this back down here. I am going to go after a 300-yard target, which is going to be crazy. It's a big silhouette. But let's have some fun and shoot out there. Let me go ahead and record the target. All right. Well, let's send the 450 Bushmaster out to 300 yards on a yellow target. I'm having to hold way over. Let's see what it does. That's a good guess on the holdover impact. Just off the bottom right. Off the right again. I guess I got lucky on the first one. So, 1,082 feet per second with an average of 1093 per second. So, big bullet traveling subsonic. But man, did you hear the thump on that first impact? That's pretty neat. All right, I'm going to shoot at another 300-yard target. This one's a little bit wider, but less vertical. So, not sure if I'll have any success or not. But we're going to send it down there and give it a try. I'm loaded up with 4 rounds. Let me see if I can find my hold again. All right, here we go. Too hard to tell shooting in a grassy targeted area. But again, 1078 feet per second. I'm lobbing those suckers down there. But it's got to be slow moving. Getting hit with big old 400 grain bullet. Crazy. All right, went and grabbed 2 more shells that I had out of an old box. I gotta shoot this again. It's just too much fun to lob them down there. All right, let me find my hold, guessing hold. The crosshair that I'm using is just a regular crosshair. There's no tick marks in it or anything, so it's just kind of hard to keep at the same elevation. But I'm gonna try. Let's do it. Oh, right over it. So close. All right, so you got to let me know in the comments what do you think about the 450 Bushmaster I absolutely love it. I think it's a great AR platform. Big, slow moving bullet, but surprisingly accurate. Again, sorry for not shooting it at 50 or 100 yards on some paper targets. I just didn't bring any to the range today. Most of the time, I just cannibalize other targets that are left out there. But you can see if you know the correct holdover, which I have just a fine duplex reticle. There's no tick marks on there or anything. I was able to hit that 200-yard plate, no problem. Impact after impact, and even 300 yards. I was dancing around it, made one impact, but I was close. But this gun is going to be lethal. So, especially with what I'm going to be using it for, between the 50, 25 yards, somewhere in between there. What do you guys think? 450 Bushmaster. I averaged 1,078 feet per second with the subsonic ammo using my Banish 46 suppressor. What a suppressor. I tell you, it knocked off the recoil and also quieted this big boy down quite a bit. I'm impressed. Can't wait to use it. Hopefully I'll get invited somewhere to go take some hogs out here soon. But what a cool little setup. Have places to stick on some additional lasers, night vision, whatever you want to complement this little setup. The overall gun itself is actually pretty light, which is a good and bad thing, because the lighter this thing is, the more recoil it has. And when I tried to use those 450 grain bullets, it actually made my shoulder sore. So I just stuck with the subsonic ammo, sighted it in for that, and called it a day. But overall, I like this setup. I think it's going to be a fun hunting and plinking gun this year. But again, in the comments, let me know. I'm actually going to start going into my gun vault, which I have tons of guns, and start slowly bringing out other hunting guns of mine and seeing if they'll shoot out to 1,000 yards, and doing some testing with some other guns that I have. So stick around for that. But again, in the comments, let me know what you think about this 450 Bushmaster and how it performed. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. That definitely helps my channel. Trying to grow it. I do want to put more ELR content out. My goal this year was to make every Texas match. I missed one due to illness, but other than that, I'm on track. Hopefully y'all like the content I'm doing, but I'm going to try to put more gun content out as well. Stick around, follow, like. I'll see you next time.